Hi everyone, Michael from Malaysia. The presenter the presenter before me, I think, presented a cat, so I thought I'd present a dog. No, he's my dog. He's a shelter dog, which we rescued. His name is also Michael. That's I did not name him that. I mean, the shelter named him, but that's a story for another day. Incidentally, he was named Michael, but yeah. So, but as a way of introduction, some of you may know my name is Michael. All right. Okay. So I am a lawyer at AmerBON Advocates. All right. We are a law firm based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. We generally do litigation work, both criminal and also civil work. I'm in the middle there somewhere. Yeah. Okay. So this is. Yeah, this is my firm, our office. Incidentally, we also do, our work also involves constitutional and fundamental liberty work and also human rights work. So the presentation today, the focus of the presentation today is on our recent business human rights due diligence work with the company in Malaysia. We were specifically asked to, by a company to look into the complaints of alleged forced labor among migrant workers in a particular factory. So for context, this company hired a third-party contractor. Sorry, I can't show pictures of the case because it's quite confidential, but yeah. This company hired a third-party contractor to supply workers to carry out the works at their factory in Malaysia. A brave worker of this third-party contractor made a complaint to the main company, and the company regarding these allegations of forced labor. So then we were engaged by this company to verify, to assess, and also investigate further if there are other issues of forced labor. So after we were engaged, we definitely formed a team, all right, headed by our boss. So we felt like the Avengers going in. So we went into the factory to interview the workers who were affected. I mean, a great sample size of the workers. We couldn't interview all of them, but a great substantial number of the workers and also the company's employees to understand the issue better. So we cross-checked the documents, their pay slips, their contracts, the existing SOPs with whatever we have got from the interviews. And their stories on their recruitment and also employment actually corroborated. All right, so next. So then the story that we heard was actually quite shocking because the workers that come and work in these factories are generally from lower income countries. All right, so they come from poor families, marginalized communities. Some are even also illiterate. Most of them are actually illiterate. So they are from the villages and they had to go through agents or sub-agents to get the jobs that they are working currently. Some travel long distances to meet these agents for an interview. Some 6 to 14 hours travel because the villages are very far from town where the agents are located. They have to pay out of pocket their traveling expenses, lodging expenses, and also when they apply for these jobs, they have to pay for their own medical checkup to ensure that they're qualified to work. Then they go home. After they go for the interview, they go back home and wait for the outcome and see whether they get it or not. So then these agents charge these potential candidates a fee to secure the work once their interview is successful. All right. So the fees apparently covers the agent's fee, the flight fee, visa, passport. We call this recruitment fee. All right, recruitment fee also includes the traveling costs, lodging, medical, and also what I mentioned for the interview. Total that they pay, it goes up to 4,000 USD. So they pay up to 4,000 USD just to secure a job to work overseas to earn a living. All right. So most of these people do not have money. So what do? They borrow money from money lenders that charges a very high interest rate. They sell their land, they sell their houses, they sell their businesses to get this money to secure a job so that they can feed their family and earn a better living. So once that happens, they're asked to, once they make the payment, they're asked to sign a contract on the day they're supposed to fly. Okay, so when they get to the agent's office before they are flying, the agent will show them a contract. Okay, generally because they do not have time, they do not understand the contract, they're not able to review the contract, not able to negotiate the contract. Some contracts are not even in the native language, so they are just in English. But because they already paid and they had to fly, they had no choice but to just agree, sign, and take the flight and go for the job, take the job. This is actually deception and also abuse of the vulnerability. Okay, so then in this kind of situations, there's also the risk of contracts being substituted. So initially, the intention was for the person to work for this job, but when the contract comes, it's actually for a different job. But because they are in that position, it makes it very difficult for them, and they had no choice to just sign it. All right. So then, this is also what we understand. Before they fly at the airport, usually they'll put them in groups. When they're in their groups, this group of people that we interviewed, workers that we interviewed, they realized that they were not given they were actually given these third-party contractors caps and clothes to wear to get to Malaysia. Okay, but during the interview, during the interview with the agent, they were told that they were supposed to be working for this company. Okay, but now at the airport, they realized, oh, I'm actually going to be working for a different company. Why am I not having? Why am I wearing this cap for a different company, or having clothes for a different company? So, but of course, as I said earlier, they've already paid, they already signed the contract. They had no choice but to leave, to carry on with it. So next, when they arrive in Malaysia, their passports are immediately taken from them by this third-party contractor. Okay, so they can't move around Malaysia freely, like how normal people come to Malaysia and work. You know, they can still travel, go on holiday. Some even had to pay a deposit to the contractor for them to get back their passports so that they can go on a holiday. So that's what happens. That's their reality. And next is, we were told that they were actually told that they could earn up to 3,000 ringgit, which is about $600 US. It's a big sum for them, but the contract which they signed was later actually found to be just Malaysian minimum wage, which is 1,500 ringgit, which is about 340 USD. So it's about half of what they were promised. Okay, so to get the 680 USD, the actual sum that they were promised, they are forced to work overtime. Okay, because they are already in debt. By the time they reach Malaysia, they are already in debt. So this is a situation where we call debt bondage. So they are in debt bondage, so they have no choice but to carry on with their work. And because they have to pay back, they had to send money back and all that. So then, as they work, when they get paid, they see their pay slips, or they realize that they don't get the full amount. Why they don't get the full amount? Because they get their deductions in their salary, their wages. So they get this. They are deducted for their accommodation, which is about 12 USD. It's 60 ringgit in Malaysian currency, but it's actually a lot for them because given how much they have actually earning in Malaysia, and they have to send money back to their family. They have to send money back to pay off the debts. Eventually, they're left with about 500 ringgit. They survive on 500 ringgit, which is about USD 110 for the entire month. So they have to work and finish off their contract, living in this kind of situation in terms of their wages. So then, aside from that, living conditions are not good. They stay in hostel dorms, and there were complaints of the living conditions, and some dorms did not even have enough water supply, and then some dorms that the ventilation is bad, and there's sometimes no fan as well. The fan is there, but the fan is not working. right? So these are their reality. So then difficulties that we face interviewing them is that they do not want to tell the full story because they are scared of losing their job. Or like when they speak to us, they are afraid that their identity will be revealed. So there's the fear of reprisal. And then the next difficulty that we have is the employers. Employers do not want to resolve the matter because they think whatever they're doing is actually legal. Because our standards in Malaysia are either too low or there are no standards at all. So then they don't find it necessary to comply with it. For example, minimum wage. They comply with the minimum wage. There's nothing wrong with them paying that sum. Then, so the third issue that we have is we are lost in translation. Sometimes when they speak, they have their slang, they have their languages. When it's translated to us, we don't really understand them. So the process with them takes a longer time for us to understand. But of course, and also because this is an issue close to my heart, it's sometimes we feel helpless when we dealt with this. But of course, we try to give the best solution for them when we propose it to the company. So eventually, they get their passports back, but the solution was to have lockers for them to put in to deposit their passports at their residence. And some who did not have contracts, who had contracts who did not understand, they were given new contracts but in dual languages, native language and English language, and the contracts were explained to them through interpreters, especially for those who were illiterate. And then the next remedial action that was taken was there was an agreement to pay a substantial sum of the recruitment fee to all these workers. So eventually, so this is our guide kit for on business and human rights on forced labor. So we can download this on our website. I brought a few copies with me, so if you want, you can I can give it to you. So for me, it goes back to the title of this. I feel although it's not really a wide impact, but it's a small achievement personally for me that we managed to help at least a few people, because helping some and collaborative effort makes a long way in our work, in the work we do. Thank you.